Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Schmitz, Executive Director of the Vilas County Economic Development Corporation. Thank you for joining us today for our Lunch and Learn, How to Drive Customers to Your Website with Digital Advertising, featuring our guest speaker, a digital marketing expert, Niina Baum. Before we begin, we extend our special thanks to Associated Bank for their generous support of this program and who support our mission to build a strong, resilient Northwoods economy. And we accomplish that through educational and networking programs like today, the expertise available through our board of directors, this office, and Mary Sue Drum, our business outreach specialist, all to support business and all at no charge. So, what questions do you have for Niina? When you do have them, please put them in the chat and Niina will answer them after her presentation. Niina is going to speak for approximately 30 to 40 minutes, and so we'll leave the last 10 to 15 minutes for any questions that you might have. She will have her contact information available to you as well for any follow-up questions. So today's meeting is being recorded, and we ask everyone to ensure that their devices are muted. And so with that, Niina, take it away.
All right, sounds good. So everyone, my name is Niina Baum. I've lived here in Rhinelander for about 4 years now, and I went to school for business and had internships in marketing and digital advertising, and then continued on that path in my career. And now I have a master's degree in information communication technologies, which is like the tech IT side of marketing. And I also am launching and building up the Wunderkind Marketing firm here over in the Midwest here. So we have an East Coast location and now we're going to have a Midwest location. That is a little bit about me. I've also designed and launched an app called Speak Notes. I have also grown my own personal brand and social media, Niina the Adventurous, and so forth. So social media, digital advertising, and video production are my specialties, but our firm does everything because I have a partner in this. So we also do web development and so forth. I'm going to get into the fun stuff here with digital advertising. So some of the basics that you need before you can run Google ads or social media ads or anything, I'm going to go over that. So if you want to run Google ads, you want to make sure you have a Google business profile for your business. If anyone doesn't know what this is when you go into Google, you search for like a barber near me, for example, and then there'll be a list that show up on Google Maps of different options, and then there'll be like a business kind of profile on the side. You will show up then there if you have a Google business profile. So it's really important to have this. The big thing with that is you want to make sure it's fully filled out. You have your hours, location, you have photos in there, your logo, it links to a website, a phone number, make sure your location's confirmed. Then you have a 750 character limit for your descriptions. You want to make sure you have a lot of your relevant keywords in there so that when people search, you show up. And getting a lot of reviews is very helpful. You want to get up to like 20 reviews is a really good spot to be at for your business. And then also make sure your business is listed in other online directories such as like Yelp or even the local chamber, any sort of directories that are relevant to your industry. So that's kind of the first step before you can get into Google Ads. For social media, because if you're going to run social media ads, now for some of these platforms, you don't necessarily have to have an active social media account. So like say you wanted to advertise on Snapchat. You don't actually have to create a Snapchat account for your business like on your phone. You can just run ads for your business on Snapchat and then they'll just link to your website. But whereas like Facebook and Instagram, you got to have like a Facebook page or an Instagram page to be able to run ads on those platforms. Something I always tell people when they're looking at picking which social platforms to use for their business, there's a lot of them out there. Pick the ones that make the most sense for your business. You do not need to be on them all. Manage one or two platforms really well instead of trying to have like five. For most businesses, it makes sense to have Facebook just because there's so much reach there and you have a lot of advertising ability and it's very general. And then for other businesses, maybe it's Instagram or it's YouTube, really depending, or LinkedIn, really depending on what your goals are and what type of business you have. The nice thing about Facebook and Instagram, because they are both owned by Meta, If you have accounts on both of them, they're linked so you can manage them all from one spot and you can run ads for both of them without having to set up two separate campaigns. So I personally utilize Facebook and Instagram the most because it's a lot easier with them being connected. My next top one is usually YouTube. If you have social media, you have your Google business profile, you want to make sure you have a website because when you run these ads, where are you going to drive people? You want to drive them to your website. It's the point of online ads. So make sure you have a website. The biggest things through websites, make sure it's mobile friendly. There's a lot of statistics out there showing how most people, when they make purchases or they look things up now, it's done on their phone. So really make sure your website's mobile friendly so that when people are scrolling through their phone, they see the social media ad, they click on it. Now they go to your website and it's easy to navigate. So just some things to keep in consideration there. And then we'll get a little bit more into keywords and industry relevant phrases. Keywords are really important when it comes to placing ads and making sure your website and Google Business Profile rank high. People are organically searching for it. And we have some tips for placing social media ads. After this presentation, I'm actually going to go in and demonstrate how to do social media ads and Google ads. So just some tips off the bat for social media ads. The dimensions I have provided here are probably about the most general dimensions I can give you that are going to work on almost any platform, barring just like cropping a little bit off the side here and there when you go to upload it in to the platform for advertising. Vertical, so the 1080 by 1920, that is the size of your screen. So that's really nice if you're doing mobile advertising. It's like specifically with the phones, people when they're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels, this will pop up, or when they're looking at stories, that's where these vertical versions of your ad will show up. Then you have horizontal and square. Square will show up like in the feed. So like if you're scrolling through like your Facebook feed just to see updates from your friends, that's where these ads will show and a few other places. And then horizontal is only in a few places for like search things on social media. The big ones are the square and the vertical dimensions for when you're placing social ads. When you go to place a social ad, you don't have to upload your ads in all these three different dimensions, but it does help and it makes them look better if you have them already pre-sized for the different placements. A big thing with social media ads now, I'd say there's two style of ads. There are ads that look like ads, graphics, very branded, very informational, like promoting an event, for example, like this Lunch and Learn. If we place an ad for it, it's going to be pretty straightforward, like Lunch and Learn, the topic, an image along with it. It's going to look like an ad. Where then there's also another style of ads. This is more with video ads. They're content that doesn't feel like an ad when you're watching it. So you watch this video thinking it's something entertaining or fun, and then it's actually an ad for a product or a service or something. So that's another big trend in social media advertising is these ads that don't look like ads. And you've probably come across those if you scroll through Instagram or TikTok at all. Next thing you know, you're watching an ad for a pair of shoes and you didn't realize it until the end or something. For video ads, generally about 15 seconds or less to keep people's attention. You can go longer than this. You can go up to like a minute, but then you have to have like a really engaging video ad. It has to really capture people's attention. Maybe it's telling a really engaging story. I have seen ads that are over 15 seconds that are successful, but it takes a lot more effort and time put into it. So generally, if you're promoting something smaller, 15 seconds or less is a really good spot to be. So you could do video ads or graphic ads. Adding movement can catch people's attention as they're scrolling. So if you have a graphic-based ad, maybe creating an animation with the text, so it's kind of like a GIF, could catch people's attention. Put in imagery. Just a text-based ad can be tough to have be successful, but if the text that's on there is captivating, it can work. But just thinking about what's going to catch people's attention. So Google Ads is really about the keywords that you use when you place a Google ad, whereas social media ads are a lot more visual based. Google Ads are a lot more word based, essentially, because these ads are being shown to people who are doing searches. So they're typing in terms into Google and you want to make sure you show up. So it's very, very text based with these ads. So you have to kind of think about your customer and how would they search for your service? What terms and phrases are they going to use when they're searching for what your business offers? So you want to make sure you have those words. There's different platforms out there, and I can send links to these after this presentation that help you determine this. So you can actually do some general term searches. So like say, I'm just going to go with the barbershop example again. So say you have a barbershop in town and you want to drive people to your website. You know that people are going to use certain terms to try to find you, but with one of these platforms that I can send out after this, you can just type in barber and it'll give you a whole report on what types of terms people use when they're searching for barber, what kind of hashtags other people in that industry use, and so forth. And it gives you a whole report so you can utilize this when you're going to develop your keywords for your ads, which is really nice. So you want some general keywords and some really specific keywords. So like barber would be really general, a certain type of haircut would be more specific, or a certain type of service, for example. And the keywords that you're going to use in your ads, you want to make sure they align with the keywords that are integrated into the copy on your website so that it aligns and matches. This will help with ranking as well. You do have the opportunity to upload some images for Google Ads. No text in these images, nothing. It has to be just an actual image. No graphics, nothing like that. And then it'll crop it into a landscape format and a square format. And then I just want to put in a couple of the resources here. If you're kind of the person who's trying to do it all yourself, you know, you're designing the ad, like you're a small business owner, you're designing it, you're placing it, you're developing your keywords and everything. Here are some resources for designing your ads that are easy, that you don't have to be a graphic designer to be able to do. Canva has a free version. Adobe Express is through Adobe, and so is Adobe Rush. So if you have an Adobe account, those are all included in there. CapCut has a free version. So Adobe Express and Canva are graphic design templates, and then CapCut and Adobe Rush are mobile video editors. So if you want to do a video style ad, you can use these two apps to edit those. I personally use CapCut for doing quick social media style videos. If I'm not going into like the advanced design platforms for Adobe, I use Adobe Express to do some really quick work. And then that is my contact, Wunderkind Marketing. So if after I do this demo, you're like, that's a lot, I don't want to have to do that myself, you can reach out to me. Or if you have questions on, how to do this process after the fact, you can reach out to me here as well. And then I'm going to go into doing these demos because these demos always take longer than I think they're going to. So I want to make sure we have enough time for them. We're going to start with social media. So if you're going to run a social media ad, the example I'm providing today is for Facebook and Instagram to run ads. I also co-founded Northwoods Young Professionals, which is a workforce retention initiative here in the Northwoods. And I'm going to be showing how I would place some ads for this on social media for this page. You're going to go to your ads manager space in Facebook. So you would just go to Facebook, your Facebook page, and on the side, you'll have options, home, ad center, go to all ads, and then you have the ability to go to ads manager, which is what we are in over here. And we're going to create an ad. I just want to send people to my website. I just want them to learn more about us. This is just a general brand campaign that we're going to work on. So I basically want my ads to direct people to the Northwoods Young Professionals website. So it'll give me an option here to do like it'll take me through like an easier way of placing the ads, or I can do a manual traffic campaign. I'm going to do a manual traffic campaign because I have more options and more customization abilities. You can go through their process as well, but you're not going to have as many customization options. Google does this as well. They have kind of two versions for placing ads. So just give it a quick name. We're just going to do MIP General Brand 2024. And then you can, most of these presets are fine to leave, auction, traffic, all that's good. You don't want to change any of that. You can do A/B testing, so you can place two ads that are similar but a little bit different to see how each performs against the other. Daily budget, we do not need to spend $100 a day. One of the benefits of living up here in the Northwoods and running ads up here in the Northwoods is it's really cheap because we have a low population. We can run ads for a really affordable rate. We can do $5 a day, and that will get us plenty. So that is one huge benefit with social media ads up here. We've put in our budget and we will hit next. We're just going to do like January campaign. So now we're going to get more into the specific details of the ad sets. We want to get clicks on the link, and this is where I can set how long I want the ad campaign to run for. Typically for social media, I'd run something about 4 weeks. That's a good time frame to be at. If you start to get too long running the same ad, you're not going to get engagement because people keep seeing it, and it's called creative fatigue. So you want to make sure you're changing it up. Usually about once every month is a good thing if you're going to be doing yearly cycles of ads. But just for the sake of today, I'm only going to run for like a week just for this example. And then you can do your audience controls. You can set different locations, ages. And right now it wants to just kind of do some automatic stuff for us. So I always switch to original audience options because this gives me more customization. And this is where I can really go in. I can adjust age. We can really adjust location if we want to down to like certain communities. I already have an audience saved. It's called YPs. So you can see the customizations I've done here. This is the areas we target. So I've done all the local towns within a 25-mile radius of all those towns. Like that's what we cover. We have a specific age that we target, 21 to 40. And we could also put in things here like interests, like my app that I did. I have a saved audience for the app, and I specifically put in here people who match interest of Toastmasters. So if you ever heard of Toastmasters, it's a big public speaking organization. So I felt anyone who is interested in that organization might be interested in my app because it's a public speaking app. You can really customize down to whatever level you want. Because we're also so rural, you don't want to customize too much because then your audience is going to become too small. So you can see that my audience here, it's considered as well defined. I'm right in the middle. I'm not too specific, but not too broad. This is my estimated audience size for that area. So then we're going to hit next. Okay, now this is where we actually create the ad. So this is where if we wanted to run a couple different ads for January, this is where we would be making the differences in ads. So we're gonna go to switch page. You can see I manage a lot of pages. There it is. So Northwoods Young Professionals, their Facebook and Instagram are linked. So it's gonna automatically set up. We're gonna create the ad. You could, if you made a social media post, you could use that as your ad if you wanted. You can use their Creative Hub mockup, but I haven't done that. I always like to make my own. You can do different types of ads. You can do carousels, collections. We're going to do single image or video today. And then you add media. So we're going to add an image. We're going to upload. And I have some ads that I already pre-made. So we're going to upload all three. So I have it in 3 different dimensions. So I'm just going to select one of them to start. And then it automatically brings them in here. I'm like, okay, so this landscape ad is already right for the right column search result spot, but obviously it doesn't look good cropped. So we're going to replace it with the vertical version that I created. And then we have that in there. And then same with the square one. We're going to replace it with the square version that I have created. And now we have that in here, and it all looks nice now because it's optimized for the right size. And then it'll give me a preview of how those ads are going to look in the different spaces that they'll be displayed across social media. It'll tell you to optimize your ads, but this is really for people, like if you're uploading a dark photo, it'll do it for you. I've already edited and made my images look how I want to, so I don't need to do any visual improvements or anything like that. Here you can see, okay, the square ad, that's what shows up in the different feeds. So it's how it look in Instagram. It's how it would be in Facebook. This is how it's going to look on stories, in stream, for Facebook Reels. You see how all this stuff will preview. You can see it's a little icon down here. It'll pop up when people are watching Reels. So you can see how it's all going to preview, which is really nice. Then this is where we add text. So primary text, you'll see this update on the right. We're going to say join Northwoods Young Professionals to get connected community. Okay, just some general text there. It will then generate text variations. I can use that if I want to. I can do up to 5 variations of this primary text. Today, in the sake of time, we're just going to do one, but it's nice that it, creates these different options for you that you can do. So it'll just show different variations. And then a headline, that's what's going to show up over here, where it currently says Northwoods Young Professionals, we're going to put join today. This is a really good spot for like a call to action that you want people to see. Join today for free. We're gonna put that as for free. People might think they have to pay. They don't have to pay. And then a description. He is based in the north. Well, obviously the Northwoods in Northern. This is all customizable and whatever you want. It's supposed to update here with the text that I put in. So I'm not sure why it's not right now, but it is for a moment and then it's like going away. But it will publish how I have it written. And then I put in the link that I want people to go to. So you can do this to your home page, a specific page on your website. And then that's pretty much everything there. And then you would just hit publish and your ads will run. So that's social media ad. I'm not going to hit publish today because I didn't budget to do ads right now, but that's just an example of social media ads. So then we're going to go to Google Ads. Okay, so when you go into Google, you're going to access the ads through your business profile usually. And then because you're going to be just like a small business owner, Google's going to want to take you through their Google AdWords Express format for placing ads, so it's really like streamlined, it's simplified, a lot of it's automated. It's nice if you're new to it and you don't know much about how to place ads, but once you get better at them, you lose a lot of ability to really customize how you want the ads. So for me, like as a manager of campaigns doing different marketing things, I can actually create a manager account and then I can manage campaigns and I can go in and do a lot more detailed targeting with Google Ads. And I'll show you the comparison a little bit. This is kind of what it would look like on my end as someone who manages a bunch of Google campaigns versus someone just trying to go in and start their own Google Ads for the first time. This is Google Smart Campaign. This is what they're going to lead you through, especially if it's like your first time ever placing Google Ads. So we're going to go with get more website sales or leads. So when we think of Google Ads, the ones that I'm going to be showing you are like if someone searches for something, you put in the right keywords, so then your website shows up at the top. There'll be like little gray letters that'll say sponsored, and then your website's there. It's usually like the first two results that'll show up, and then it's all the Google business listings, and then it's organic results. So the ads bump you up to the top for when people use search terms that match with your keywords. You have a lot of different options. You can go with sales or leads. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to go with leads. As Northwoods Young Professionals, we don't sell anything. We want to get more people to join. Well, I'm going to have people fill out an information form. We have an information form on our page where people can become members for free. And I've already pre-done some of this to save time. So kind of like we did with the social media ads, you're putting in a headline as well. You can do some different headline variations. So Northwoods Young Professionals. I don't want Northwoods again. Let's go with networking group because that's what we are. We do more than just tomahawk in areas. So we would want to put something in here like maybe professional development. We offer that as well. And you can add more as well. The more you add, the better for Google Ads. And then we have descriptions. So that will impact what is in here. We already have Northwoods Young Professionals in the header. We don't need that again. So description, we can put something like helping area young professionals connect socially and professionally. Too long. We'll go connect socially. Or here, we can make this even shorter. Connecting area young socially and professionally. Oh, almost there, but connecting our young professionals socially, that's pretty good. And we can put workforce read. So if anyone's searching for us, like employers looking for ways to try to retain. So we're also we're targeting individuals looking to get connected, but then we're also targeting employers to share us as a resource to their employees. So maybe employers are out there trying to find, okay, how can I help retain my employees here in the Northwoods? So we want to show up as a resource for them too. And I would finesse this out more with more time as well. And you can add more descriptions. I don't want to do a phone call, but you can if you want to. And so this is where going through their kind of automated process. Okay, we don't want dating. We don't do dating, but this is where you're going through your process. You're not actually going to be inputting specific keywords for your own ads. You're just putting in keyword themes, like categories, and then it's going to automatically develop keywords for you. So that's where, if you can go into the advanced mode of creating your Google ads, you have a lot more customization. So we're going to put young professionals. Nope, we just want that. And then we're going to put networking, professional development. Believe it or not, that is a very common term people have used for trying to find us, how to meet people. Location is pretty big with this one. And there's a limit on how many of these I can put in. So we're just going to put professional. Oh yeah, we can put mentorship too. Okay. And then, and it will suggest some things, but I didn't really like what it had. So that's why I put in my own themes. It already knows what areas we cover based on the Google business profile. So it's already put in our main location areas. So I'll just leave it there. And then this is where you can select a budget. We're going to go pretty low. Like I said, we're in a rural area. We don't really need to go that high. Also, fun fact, if you have not placed Google ads before, once you run ads for a certain dollar amount, they will match you and give you free ad dollars of the same amount. So I believe for this one, it was if I spent $1,000 in ads, I would get $1,500 in free ads after that. So just something to note, if you're getting into it, you can actually get a lot of bang for your buck then that way your first time. And then hit next, and then it goes into payment details and all of that stuff. And we don't have to go through payment details. So you can see that's pretty simple and straightforward when you go through that process. And it's pretty easy, but you are limited on customization. So I want to bring you over to here to show you the difference from when you actually go through more of the manual process of creating Google ads. This is where you're going to actually enter all the individual keywords, not just kind of those keyword categories that I just did. And it has generated a lot of these for me. Some of these probably aren't relevant or are relevant. I would go through these. I would edit, remove some, add some more, really customize this down to what I think is relevant to my business. It'll even give me some cues like, hey, add more keywords. This will increase your optimization score. So you can see over here, I get an optimization score on my ad. So if I get pretty high, that's really good. It's telling me that it'll perform well. And then over here, we can really get specific. You saw that I did some of those headings earlier in the other ad. Well, here's where I can add a lot more of them, do more than what we did. We can do more descriptions. We can add the business name and logos and so forth. So then you have a lot more ability to customize here. So it's telling me like my headlines and descriptions really need to be improved, which I'm sure we don't have that many in here. I need to add more headlines in. I would need to add more descriptions in. That would boost the campaign optimization score. In sake of time, I'm not going to go into detail on every single one of those things. Because like right now, the ad strength is poor, and I agree. Okay, we're going to hit next. So this is where you can adjust your budget again. You can set your budget. Go just down like $5 and it'll run its system and it'll tell me if I have issues, which is really nice too. So if you missed something, you can go back. It says my ad has issues, it'll prevent it from showing on Google. And yes, it does, because for the sake of time, we don't have the ability to really go in and optimize all of this, but it'll tell me what the improvements are. So I can go back, could add call outs, like let's go view that. And so it'll give you little warnings, excessive capitalization, and so forth. Yeah, so that kind of just shows you the different ways of the different routes of doing Google Ads. I guess I will open it up to questions because that's where I'll be able to get more specific with anything that you guys have from this general overview. So Kathy, if there's any questions at this point.
It's a lot to cover, and I think it can be really overwhelming if you've not done this before. But as you've shared, you did a great job. it really does walk you step by step through the process. I'm sure people are very confused today. We're here and we can certainly help handhold people as they start the process. So let's go through the questions from Deb Mann. Why wouldn't you drive ads to your phone or email versus website if you're a realtor?
Okay, so if you're a realtor, that's very industry specific. So yes, having people call you might be more relevant for your business. You probably would want people to call you based on your ads. That would definitely make sense for your business. But say someone has an e-commerce store where they sell products online, then it makes sense to send people to their website instead of to a phone call. That's really dependent on your business and your individual business goals. So I was showing an example of what would make the most sense for Northwoods Young Professionals. For me, it's to get people to our website, get them to sign up through a free membership form, and then I can send them emails and contacts and everything like that, promoting what I need to do. But yeah, as a realtor, phone calls, yes, 100%. I actually have a client that's a real estate client. We run Google ads for them. We have them run to the website and promote phone calls. We do both.
Great, thanks, Nina. Also from Angie, do you recommend doing Google Ads as a user or a manager?
Depends on your skill level. So if you're just a small business owner and you've never run Google Ads before, do it as a user. As a user, you can set up a manager account. There's no specific requirement to setting up a manager account and going into the more detailed process for setting ads up, but you have to know how that process works and have worked in it. So if it's your first time, I suggest doing the user account. From there, as you get more familiar with it and you become more educated in it and learn more about it, then you do it from the manager perspective.
Question from Dick. Are there some businesses here in the Northwoods that are using these tactics, digital ads, that you would consider best practice?
Oh, like businesses that are doing a really good job of it. I should have done my research.
I think VCEDC.
Yes, right? Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of businesses in the Northwoods that do use Google ads and social media ads. You will see a lot of realtors using Google ads. That's actually a really big market for them up here because that's something people commonly search for in this area as well. And off the top of my head, aside from Vilas County EDC, I don't have any right now. Well, Nicolet College does a really good job of doing social media ads. They do general brand campaigns and then also ads specific to events too. That's another good place to look at too for an organization that runs really good social media ads.
Question from Andy. My business is located in Eagle River. If I run ads in Milwaukee, will I pay a Milwaukee rate?
So what you're going to be doing if you're advertising in Milwaukee, the rate itself doesn't exactly change, but what changes is your population, the number of people you're targeting. Your $5 isn't going to go as far as it does up here. So like up here, say $5 targets 1,000 people. That's a lot for up here. That's a big percentage of the population. You can run your ad and it targets 1,000 people in Milwaukee. It'll cost the same, but that's a lot lower percentage of the population there. And then you have to really know who is your target in Milwaukee. You're not just going to advertise it to 1,000 people living in Milwaukee. You want to make sure it gets to the right people. So is it, I don't know what type of business it is, but say you're a resort. So now you have to target it to make sure it's people who maybe have come up here in the past, people who have an interest in the Northwoods or like various pages up here. So you have to really narrow it down so that you're making sure you're targeting the correct people. Whereas up here, you can be a lot more broad because your money goes further, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's the really cool thing about digital advertising is that, as you demonstrated, Nina, that you can really target the demographics, men, women, both ages 35 to 60, people that live just in this township or that work in this profession. So it is really effective way to spend dollars. And as you mentioned, it doesn't cost a lot. Even running an ad for a month can be very beneficial. So let's get back to the questions. What is the relationship between budget and reach?
Budget and reach, basically, the more you spend, the bigger reach you'll get. But what you're really paying for is the clicks. The reach is going to vary. Say you set a $5 a day budget, it's going to give you an estimated reach. People that the ad is going to be shown to, not the people who are clicking. So your ad's going to reach this many people. And then what you really want to pay for is clicks. So then If someone clicks on it, that's when you pay. And so then that's where your $5 budget goes. So a really good budget or a click cost rate to be at for social media ads is under $1, which is really nice. So you can get, if you're getting clicks for under $1, your ad is running well. I've been running ads for the last few months now that are getting about 50 cents per click, which is fantastic. So that's a really good spot to be. So when you're trying to think of, the reach versus number of clicks and your spend, $5 a day, that's going towards clicks, 50 cents a click, that's 10 clicks a day.
And like you said, to add that call to action to get that engagement with that person out there in your audience, to get them to go to your website, to connect
Mhm.
with you, to call you, email you something, and that increases that engagement too. From David, at times my Facebook boosts are rejected. Why would this happen? Also, what can be done to have clickable web addresses in Instagram?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the clickable web addresses in Instagram. Are you meaning like when you make a post and you put a URL in the caption of the post? Because with Instagram, that does not do live links in captions of any organic posts that you make. It just doesn't. So if you want to send people to like a blog article that you've posted, for example, you have to do like a link tree, which would be in your Instagram profile. So it's a link there because you can have a live link in the profile under the about section of your Instagram account. And then people click on that. A company is called Linktree. You click on it, then it'll show all sorts of other links that you can drive people to, and you can connect them to your posts. A lot of like magazines do this, or like news channels on Instagram. So like Outside Magazine has this. So if they make a post, they'll do an image, like we have this article that just came out about this topic. Click the link in our bio. So then people go to the page's profile, click on that link, and then they'll see the image associated with that article and that post. And then you can click on it, it takes you to their website. So that's the workaround for having live links in Instagram. But yeah, if you make a post and you put a URL in the caption, it won't be live no matter what you do. Okay, and there was a second part to that. Your Facebook boosts get rejected. There are a whole lot of reasons for that. I would have to really see what the feedback from Meta is as to why it got rejected and then adjusting things. Sometimes they just get rejected randomly. Like I once placed an ad and it said complimentary alcoholic beverages. And because I had the word alcoholic in there, it got rejected. But then we had another ad where that terminology was in there and it didn't get rejected. So it's not always black and white. It really depends. So I'd have to see that one specifically more to be able to answer that question.
From Carrie, would it make more sense to start paying for ads in months with high visitation tourism and second home ownership presence to just try it out and be cost effective?
Are you meaning like high tourism, like physically people coming up here? So like in the summer months for the ads? Okay.
I'm
So
thinking that's what she means. Yeah.
yes. Okay. If you're like a rental company or something, that would make a lot of sense to run ads when people are physically up here, especially if you're geographically targeting. So if someone's already come up here on vacation, they're physically up here, maybe they're looking for activities to do. So if maybe your business provides some sort of summer activities, it would definitely make a lot of sense to run ads at that time because you can target those ads so that it reaches to people who are up here, even if they don't live up here. It can be just people who happen to be up here. If you've ever noticed, like when you go to another city, sometimes when you're scrolling through your social media, and all of a sudden you'll get ads for specific things in that city. So that happens if they come here.
From Laura, for Google Ads, where do you see the results?
So you'll link Google Analytics to your website as well. That's another step. And then based on those two things, it'll give you the results. So it'll send you like a recap and you can view that under your business profile, Google business profile.
Could you talk about using copyrighted music in social ads?
This is a little tricky of an area, especially for ads. If you're creating organic content, like you're creating an Instagram reel for fun, for your business, you're not putting any money behind it, you can use all the music that's available to you in, say, Instagram or Facebook. When you go to do ads, it's a little bit different. There's a restriction on the music that you can use. So when I've run ads, typically what I do is I actually purchase music and the rights to it. There's a lot of platforms out there that you can utilize. You can purchase music for like $40 for what you would need. I mean, then you can use it for all of your advertising. That's typically the route I go just to be really safe. There are some music that you can use. So when you go into like say Snapchat or something to create your ad, they do have music available to you to use for free. But if you really want to customize to what's going to work for you, you do have to end up purchasing music.
We just have a few minutes left, and I was wondering, Niina, would AI be of assistance in terms of helping a business owner develop an ad? I mean, if they, hi, I'm a business owner of a pet store,
Mhm.
and we offer these products and open these days, and would it be helpful for AI to help with that if people needed some
Mhm.
copywriting, if you will?
Yeah. So, as you noticed when I was even just going through the process of placing ads, Facebook, Google have integrated AI into helping make it easier and create some of those terms and those phrases and that copy. But if you want to take it even a step further, yes, you can. ChatGPT is surprisingly good at developing keywords for you. Obviously, take everything with a grain of salt and analyze it yourself and edit it. It's not going to be perfect, but it can help. It's a good start. It's a good place to start and can really help you establish a base to go off of. And like I said, I can email out some additional links for resources for helping with getting started on keywords and copy. I mean, I could actually probably show one really quick too, if we have time at the end.
Yeah, and Deb just asked a question, what sites do you use to purchase the music?
Okay, so I have an Adobe subscription. So I use Adobe Stock personally, and that's where I get all of my music from. But there's a lot of others. There's Bend Sound, and I can put some in the chat too, and I can send links out to those after as well.
And so any follow-up information on this, as you know, we are recording this. And so we will send back out the recording to all of you, to really everyone who's registered. And then we obviously have your emails too, and we can follow up with any information from Niina to you on that. And obviously you've got her contact information now, but we can also put that in the information too. I would be really interested to find out from all of you if you felt this was helpful or did it confuse you? We're thinking helpful, just to at least get you started on what's possible here. And then knowing that the VCEDC is here to help, Nina's here to help. We have other resources as well. So if you
And
want
we're
to get
always
started.
happy to help and
Um,
give resources. This is just to kind of show you what you can do on your own. Obviously, not expecting you to remember every step. So if you just need help with some of it, feel free to reach out.
well, I'm thinking we could add a part two on this at some point this spring because I we had a lot of interest in this, and so I think it was very helpful. At least to plant the seed if you've not done it before, and to understand what the resources are out there that we can help. I mean, Nina's here to help. We're here to help, and so I think we can really boost all of your advertising. And again, the goal is to help drive customers to your website, to your business.
We have one more question.
Are there any benefits to using social media ads, Facebook, Instagram, to increase exposure and gain followers versus site visits?
Yeah, so this is where you really want to target to the correct people. These types of ads can be really beneficial if you target them correctly. You don't want to just put out an ad to anybody being like, oh, hopefully they'll follow me. Think of like the type of people that are going to follow you, because then those people who see this ad will actually be interested in following you for what type of content you're going to put out there. And then when they do follow you, they're going to actually engage with your content. There's nothing worse than putting your ad out in front of a bunch of people to follow you who aren't really interested in what you do, but they end up following you, but then they never engage with what you do. So that doesn't really benefit you if they don't engage with your content in the end. So it is definitely beneficial, but you got to make sure you're targeting the right people and it's getting in front of the right people. So the type of people that would want to see your content, that's who you want to get your ads in front of so they become aware of you and what you offer.
I think that's it for the questions. And so, with just the 5 or 6 minutes left, Niina, any closing comments from you at all?
Just if anyone has questions, obviously, Vilas County, great resource and everything. And if anyone has any questions for me too, I threw my email in the chat.
Okay, great. Well, we're so grateful you were with us today, Niina. You are a digital marketing expert, and we're so pleased you could join us and help everyone today. I want everyone to stay tuned for more of our lunch and learns. I think in February, we're looking at one on answering your financial questions, bringing in a tax expert, CPA, insurance people, maybe a banker. So we're working on that, more lunch and learns to come. And again, we're here as a resource. the VCEDC, Niina, and our colleagues out there in the community. So thanks for joining us, and reach out with any questions, and we'll see you at another event in the future. Enjoy your day.